Welcome to Americana Archives. Today's story is in a section entitled The World's Mysteries. Today's headline is Mysteries of America, the Blue Laws of Connecticut. It says, there's been an unusual amount of controversy regarding which were and which were not the Blue Laws of Connecticut. One of the most rigid of the New England colonies was that of Connecticut, and the early government of New Haven formed certain laws against breaches of manners and morals, which to our present thinking would appear to be unusually severe, if not in some respects nonsensical. But many laws that are credited to that colony were never placed on statute books, but instead seem to have been conceived in the mind of one Reverend Samuel Peters. The New Haven Code of Laws were passed in 1655, the properly termed Blue Laws, but what are claimed to have been the Peters forgeries appeared about that same time, and were explained by their author as follows. The lawgivers soon discovered that the precepts in the Old and New Testaments were insufficient to support them in their arbitrary and bloody undertakings. They therefore gave themselves up to their own inventions in making others, wherein, in some instances, they betrayed such an extreme degree of wanton cruelty and oppression that even the rigid fanatics of Boston and the mad zealots of Hartford were put to blush, christening them the Blue Laws. Dr. Peters further notes in his history, these laws consist of a vast multitude and were very properly termed Blue Laws, i.e. bloody laws, for they were all sanctified with excommunication, confiscation, fines, banishment, whippings, etc. And did not similar laws still, in 1782, prevail over New England as the common law of the country, I would have left them in silence. Where did Dr. Peters get his authority for the statement that such laws existed? There is no evidence obtainable in any records. But a great many people believe Peters' Blue Laws were reprinted a number of times from 1781 to 1861. In spite of the fact that these Blue Laws of Peters have been shown repeatedly that they are little more than the invention of a clerical historian, they are frequently referred to as authentic by well-known writers and were printed in reliable magazines. When Peters' history appeared containing his Blue Laws, he was asked for his authority, and his reply was, the laws made by this independent dominion and dominated Blue Laws by the neighboring colonies were never suffered to be printed. A few of the most odd of these laws, as conceived by Peters, at least it is so believed, are as follows. Number 1. No one shall cross a river but with an authorized ferryman. Number 2. No one shall run on the Sabbath day or walk in the garden or elsewhere except reverently to and from meeting. Number 3. No woman shall kiss her child on the Sabbath or fasting day. Number 4. Whoever wears clothes trimmed with gold, silver, or bone lace above 2 shillings by the yard shall be presented before the grand jurors, and the selectmen shall tax the offender at $1,500 a state. Number 5. No one shall read common prayer, keep Christmas or saints' days, make mince pies, dance, play cards, or play on any instrument of music except the drums, trumpet, and Jew's harp. Number 6. Married persons must live together or be imprisoned. Number 7. Every male shall have his hair cut round, according to a cap. There were 45 in all of these laws, and of such sort, remarks Peter, were the laws made by the people of New Haven. In a portion of his history is to be found the following story. In 1750, an Episcopal clergyman born and educated in England, who had been in holy orders above 20 years, once broke their sabbatical law by combing a discomposed lock of hair on the top of his wig, and at another time by making a humming noise, which they called a whistling, and at still another time by walking too fast from church, by running into church when it rained, by walking in his garden and picking a bunch of grapes, for which several crimes he was complained of by the grand jury, had warrants issued against him, was seized, brought to trial, and paid a considerable sum of money. The laws of Connecticut were no doubt most severe, but Peters no doubt manufactured others either viciously or out of ridicule. The investigator can find nothing in the statutes of that state which could be misconstrued into meaning anything like what is represented by Peters in his history. This story came from the great state of Georgia, being reported in the Constitution of May 14, 1913. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to continue to uncover all of America's lost and forgotten history, then remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and comment below. and we will see you next time on Americana Archives.